A cool down is on the way east of the Rockies in the coming days, and also the return of severe weather as the high pressure that's been out west will move eastward and bring a severe weather to the middle part of the country. First, I
And
want
that's
to
what
review the severe storm reports from yesterday. We had a lot of wind reports and some giant hail reports. You see the big H's here indicating up to 2-inch diameter hail. So all this has to be verified, of course, and maybe some tornadoes as well. So we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll talk about it more as necessary here. As far as current conditions, we got the string of showers and storms moving through the central part of the U.S. here, stringing all the way back to central Kansas, with temperatures to the north of this boundary in the 30s and 40s, and the south 50s and 60s. So quite warm here to the south, of course, like I said, and cool in the north here, and also in the northwestern part of the U.S. in the upper Midwest and northern high plains in the single digits, with some snow going on this morning as well. Also in the central part of the country here, we have the high winds today, high wind warnings and high and wind advisories and blowing dust advisory, wind advisory in parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and parts of New Mexico, and for the next couple of days here as well. So be mindful if you're traveling these areas today and tomorrow. So in the short term, what's the simulated radar looking like? Well, to start with, we have our storms waiting for this to cycle here, right along the middle part of the country, moving to the south. The front watch is out. You get some rain here in Texas, and maybe some snow showers and snow moving through the northeast with colder temperatures as we go through the day and the weekend here. And here's your temperatures for the next 48 hours. You can see cooling off in the eastern seaboard here, and then warming up again out west here with the high pressure building again, well, bringing warmer temps to the west once again over the weekend. You can see dew points. This is a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, how dry it's going to get, even in the southeast, with dew points reaching down below 30 degrees or colder here, which means very dry air. Okay, 26, 15. Most of the U.S., with the exception up into Texas, will have dew points, really low dew points, and the chance for just fire weather in general. Okay, so very unusual to have dew points this low in the southeast. Although this time of year, we do get occasional pushes of this to the south, but doesn't last very long here either. So as we get towards the 1st of April, we got a pattern change on the way. You see here, this is at 500 millibar height anomalies, okay? Apologize for my ear here, but I'm having sinus problems and I can't hear out of one ear right now, so it's really annoying. Um, uh, so we have a trough out west here digging, right, which will bring moisture back to the west coast. And this east coast trough, this is the GFS ensemble and European ensemble. GFS has 31 members, European has 51. And this is a general mean of the models, okay, the average. So pretty good agreement as we get to the 1st of April. And the European wants to swing this trough to the east around April 5th, right? And the GFS wants to be a little more progressive with it, right? 8 a.m., April 5th. But what does that mean for the weather? Okay, so one thing that we look at is total precipitation, and it looks like we have the potential for flooding here as this trough moves to the east. Okay, and you can see here the ridging moving back out west again. All right, so here's your total moisture that will reach the ground according to the two the GFS and European ensemble mean average, right? On the left is European, on the right is the GFS, all right? So you can see where the heaviest rainfall is expected to be. There's going to be a boundary setting up somewhere in here. This isn't exactly like it's going to play out, but this is what the models agree on, more or less, right? A little bit difference in amounts and stuff, which we would expect. But so we'll keep an eye on this. So this may be attendant to a severe threat as well, which they haven't outlined much of it yet, and that is yet to be determined. But flooding could be a major concern here in the coming days. And this is a national blend of models. This blends all the national models for total precip, right? And So you can see it has an average and shows like the highest amounts in purple here in the deep south and in the northeast, the mid-Atlantic here, but the southeast is remaining dry. And out west, we maybe get some snow in the higher terrain here and some snow and rain on the coastal areas on the northwest as well. And this is the European AI model. The Euro seems to be running behind, so I wanted to show this. This shows the moisture and simulated radar. You can see why we have this flooding risk here. With multiple rounds of storms moving through that area, right? And you see another round of storms moving through April 5th and April 6th moving up the coast. We get more uncertain towards the end of the month. You see another system maybe moving through the deep south as we get into the second week of April here. And you can see what we're talking about here with heavy rainfall potential here in the Midwest, Ohio Valley, 31st to the 1st of April, right? And then we got a risk of heavy precip according to the Climate Prediction Center here, centered in Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley, the 3rd through the 5th, and the 3rd through the 9th, we have a broader risk for heavy precip, which means rain. So uh, the models don't lie here, and the experts are saying the same thing. And you can see this is a GFS model. This is the most recent run of the GFS showing the overall flow pattern at the mid levels with different troughs of pressure moving through the northern part of the flow here, which is what we talked about previously, right? And with these troughs moving through, they could bring severe weather and flooding to the middle part of the country. And so that's what I'm going to talk about severe weather here real quick. Now, this is Monday, March 30th, right? A few days from now. We got some building mixed layer cape all the way up into the upper Midwest here. Okay, so with that trough moving through, so if this plays out, this could be some parameters for severe weather here. Now, if we look at a most unstable cape, you can see that this is the most unstable parcel in the atmosphere. Right, still pretty high levels, even though at 400 joules per kilogram isn't that high, but this could be refined, go up or down in future days, right? Surface base cape gives pretty much the same look here. Here's your wind shear. At least initially, we see a bunch of wind shear in the atmosphere as the system moves through. You can see right along wherever the system would be, we have this parameter space for potentially severe weather, okay? So, like I said, we got to see how this plays out, but the potential is definitely there, okay? Now, Supercell Composite, it looks like we have the potential for that as well up here Monday into Tuesday, which is interesting, right around where maybe a surface low will be up here with these values approaching 10 in this area could lead to severe weather. And then into Tuesday as well, parts of Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we get a little more uncertain, but further south here and further to the north, April 3rd here, going back to storm revelicity, another system moving through here as well. So we'll keep an eye on these parameters. Interesting system moving through the northeast here as well. Let's look at temperatures real quickly. Very cold up here, so I don't have to worry about severe weather up here, but we'll see how these parameter spaces play out. You see temperatures warming up 50s and 60s to near Chicago and points southward. So if these dew points and temperatures end up playing out like this, let's see here. Dew points are pretty meager, at least according to this model to start with, although you see get to March 31st, see dew points in the 50s and 60s here. So that's plenty of moisture for severe weather. We'll keep an eye on these parameters over the weekend and see what the SPC Storm Prediction Center has to say, and I'll keep you all updated. Appreciate y'all watching. Let me know where y'all are at in the location wise in the comments. Like and subscribe, and hope you all have a great day.